Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv. The Nigerians military are not backing down. They are no longer bowing to the West. In fact, look at the massive crowd that trooped out to support them, to show their solidarity to the revolution, or some might want to call it coup. Now, whilst basking on the success of the coup till date, the Nigerians decided to do something. They shut down their airspace. And what that means is this: should any aircraft try crossing over their country, which is one of, it's a form of security, securing their airspace, securing their land, and security to their military, particularly the land and all that is in Niger. And now this will definitely affect Nigeria, as certain flights that are to cross over Niger into Nigeria or maybe into Ghana, depending on the route of the aircraft, they will not be able to. Once an airspace is closed, you cannot pass over that country. You just have to look for other alternative routes. And this definitely will cost more, and it will create a lot of inconveniences, particularly when it has to do with the economy of the country. Although, talking about closing your airspace, it's a very complex one. It's a very complex one. Niger is a very big and huge landmass. They might not be able to have the ability to cover their airspace. Do they have the radar to monitor, cover their airspace? Did they already plan for this? I'm talking about the Air Force in Niger. Did they already envision this? Did they already procure radar to cover up all the nook and cranny of their airspace? Also, when you talk about covering your airspace or protecting your airspace, or even saying that your airspace has been shut down, you do not want any aircraft, passing by or wherever it is, do they have fighter jets that can chase any aircraft that goes against the policy or the rule? Also, if you are moving out of Nigeria, probably you're going down to Europe or you're going down to some neighboring countries, you can no longer pass the land or the country called Niger. And at its it now, Mali and Burkina Faso and some other countries are drumming support. In fact, the latest we heard is that Algeria is also drumming support for Niger. Algeria borders Niger. Now, if all of these countries are to close their airspace also, it's going to cost them a lot. If they have to close their airspace, it means flights will not go out, flights will not come in. The only flights that can move in and out will be around countries that are in support of each other. From the look of things, it seems Niger is ahead of the whole of this sanction. Most of the times countries will come up with sanctions, like Ecowas coming up with sanctions, threatening, and all of that. But Niger is a step ahead, saying we do not want any aircraft passing across. Other countries would have come up with these sanctions, saying we are going to put an end to any aircraft coming from Niger here and there, but they are moving fast. Now, people have advised and suggested that ECOWAS, particularly Nigeria, which is the biggest stakeholder, to go through the route of dialogue, engage in a better diplomatic or diplomacy. That is what is being said, rather than coming up with this brute force or throwing your last card, which is we are going to involve ourselves militarily in your country. We will be bringing in the army. Now, also, suggestions are being put to France, because the president of France, Macron, of course, we know that relationship between most of these Western countries, or all of them, are parasitic. It is not symbiotic. They often will talk about these humongous funds that are being put to these countries, given to this country, aids and all of that. They often will talk about that, but none of these come to this country without something coming from them. In fact, at the end of the day, when you look at it, you realize that there is no aid coming to any of these countries. Particularly the Francophone countries, they are really going through a lot. Let us look at uranium. That is one of the most important natural resources that you will find in Niger. Uranium, according to what we heard, cost about 200 and something euros. I'm not specific now, 200 and something euros. But the amount that is being given back to the country Niger that owns this uranium, it's about 5 to 10 euros. That's so poor. That's so poor. It's terrible. When I say terrible, it's terrible. But the only reason why this will work is this: the president of France, the government of France, will assure the president of Niger he's been assured of his stay in power and probably his party stay in power in as much as they do the biddings of France. France is not really looking for the good of the Nigerians. No, they care less about it. They are more particular about their own sustenance, as there is nothing in France. France needs the continuous raping of these African colonies to sustain themselves. So advice and suggestion is being put to France not to escalate, to de-escalate this and not even involve themselves at all, and just wipe their mouth and stick to what they have stolen all of this while. In the same vein of all of this, in the same, let us listen to what a man who has a lot of sense in him has to say, although he added a little bit of tribe in it. Let us listen to this man. He has something to say as regards the president of Nigeria and ECOWAS involvement militarily in what is happening in Niger. And warnings have been put out there. If you go in using military force, there could be, some kind of negative results. It could escalate, could become much more terrible to countries that are around, and also to states in Nigeria that are border to Niger. But I want to believe that the reason why most of these politicians are kind of shaky, the leaders in ECOWAS, I mean the presidents in ECOWAS, the head of states in ECOWAS, is because they are also worried that should such happen in their own country, what will they do? Let us listen to this man.
This is Comrade Mohammed Ali Rinja. I want to say this very means to congratulate members of the Senate for denouncing the instruction needed by His Excellency Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, seeking for Nigerian Armed Forces to invade Niger Republic. Nigeria and Niger, we are together. You, Mr. President, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, able to say you share borders with Niger, the Yorubas, western part of Nigeria, Lagos, Ondo, Ekiti, Oyo, Oshun. If they share the borders with the Niger Republic, can you suggest for Nigeria to go into with the Republic of Niger? So don't play with our intelligence. We have voted for you tremendously, and we supported APC 100%. But now you wanted to reward us with what? What concerns Nigeria with coup d'etat? How many coup d'etat took place in West Africa? It took place at Guinea-Conakry. It took place at Republic of Mali with capital at Bamako. It took place at Burkina Faso with capital at Ouagadougou. Why? Then the ECOWAS has not intended to embed Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. Now you wanted to incite war between Nigeria and the Niger Republic. As we at the extreme end of Nigeria, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, and so on and so forth, Borno and so on and so forth, we have shared the border. Our parents, our forefathers were having intermarriage between Niger and Nigeria. I want to repeat it again, that even to say the Yorubas share border with the Niger Republic, can you suggest war to be conducted between Nigeria and Niger?
I want to believe that ECOWAS is listening, although the Senate in Nigeria has already rejected the proposal or the request of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They said, no, do not engage our military that is already stretched thin, of course, with the internal corruption and a lot of terrible things happening. We are no longer interested in all of this ECOWAS of a thing. Please do not involve us in it at all. That is what the Senate is saying. And we also can see, although it will be very difficult at times, it might be difficult for people to go against the military, particularly when they take over. But people will not lie at the end of the day. We barely see people on the street protesting against military coup or the invasion in Niger. People are out there en masse in support, drumming support, applauding the military, applauding the efforts of the military and what they did. We are talking of a nation that is so rich in resources, yet begging, taking arms from France, the same country that comes to rape and pillage their country. So what are we talking about here? You can all see so much support even coming from other francophone countries. Algeria, from what we heard, is also on it. So that is just what it is. Let us see what will become of Niger in the couple of months coming. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update. I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.